Okay, well, we just did our first playthrough of Warframe, and when I say playthrough, I don't actually mean completion. It's first time trying the game in 2026. It's a game I've heard of over the years, not when it initially came out, but more recently. Put in about 198 hours, 30 streams, played quite a bit off stream. Honestly, mixed thoughts on what this game is and who it's for. I think if I had to give a score just right off the bat, I think 8 out of 10 is fair. In some ways, for some, it might be too high. Others would probably say too low. But with the good, the game has an abundance of content. Like, there is nothing short to do in this game. So, if you are willing to grind or you're willing to put in the time, this is definitely a game that will suck you in. Um, and considering it's free, there's a lot you can do here. This is definitely a main game for a lot of people, and you'll get more hours and content than any AAA or indie game. So it's good in that aspect. The warframes are cool as well. There's a lot of different characters, different play styles. It's not really generic in the sense that everyone's the same. They do try to diversify the move sets. Some things are the same with respect to metas with guns and stuff like that. So you will be using, but different warplanes, different warframes have different specialties and applications. So yeah, it's always good when a game gives you that variety rather than just having 3 to 5 classes or characters and then it's just a generic recycle. So that's good. I think the quality in terms of missions and cutscenes and all that's pretty good as well. There's definitely a variety of missions, although there comes a point where you're pretty much revolving, but it is good that it's not always the fetch quest mentality that a lot of studios have, where they just recycle the classic fetch quest 1,000 times, and then that's what you have to grind. I think the last thing I'll say on the good, I'm just trying to think of what I would really say. The best part of this really was the community, and this in part is good, and it ties into the first thing I'll say is bad. I am lucky. Obviously, I'm a nobody streamer. I'm like total schizo guy, just playing the game. But a lot of people stop by and were extremely friendly and helpful. ADFX, have to give a shout out. Literally stopped by when I was complaining about slots and gifted me like 20 Warframe slots and I think at least 10 weapon slots. So extremely generous community, people willing to help. Obviously, shout out to Panda and others, Soul, Mad, who were there playing with me, helping me grind. Yeah, just really showing me the ropes. I think it definitely changed the experience. If I didn't have people to help me, I definitely would have quit after a few days, and that really ties into the bad. I do think there is some pretty bad points for this. So the first thing is the game is extremely overwhelming, and there's a lot that you will not know unless you look up. So it's not like other games where as you play you kind of figure things out, or the game kind of at least gives you the tutorial or explanation. Like this game has so much random shit where it's like it's just overwhelming. You need to look it up. And I think for a majority of people, and this is where I wouldn't recommend it for some people, if you're solo, you don't have the patience, and especially if you're not into this genre, you'll hate this game. It'll be way too much, and you'll actually hate it. One of my biggest pet peeves is the slots. I think that this game is way too stingy on the slots, especially considering the amount of items that it has. So, for example, weapons. When you look at like the base slots, it's like literally like 10, but for the primary, secondary, and melee, they each have like almost 200 each, if not more. Why is the game not at least giving you like 25, 30 slots just to start? Because then the issue is when you're playing initially, and if you're a broke person like me and you don't have money to spend, um, you literally get a weapon, you level it up, you get another one, and then you have to sell it instantly just to even try the weapon. So you have no sense of like what's actually good, what isn't. And then if you hold on to something, well, you won't know if the other thing is good either, right? So I think that's absolute shit tier in terms of the slot space. Like you can make money other ways. I feel like you have the warframes, you have the plat system to help the grinds and all that. That's fair. There's other games that do that. But I think just the general slot space is total ass tier. It should at least be like minimum 10% of whatever amount of items. Like there's whatever 100 I think it's 116 Warframes, you should at least be getting minimum 15 slots to start the game. So you get those 15 Warframes, and then after that, you should have a sense of, okay, this is who I want to keep, this is who I can get rid of. I want to keep them all. I'll buy some more slots. Like, I think that's fair. But when you start off, it's like, well, you got 5 Warframe slots. Oh shit, you just unlocked 20 Warframes. Well, good luck figuring out which one you're actually gonna like, right? You're gonna have to sell it, and then, oh shit, I really like that guy. Now I got to go back and do that boss 100 times to get all the pieces. So that's the goon gotcha aspect, which I think is pretty shit. Speaking to the missions, I did say it was good in the sense that there was, but it also is extremely repetitive. I think that is a con, especially with some of the mission types like disruption. No one likes, like the rescues. No one likes. Pretty shit tier, and then the way that some things are locked, where it's like this one specific mission, which I do understand, but I'm not a fan of tying it to specific tiers. It is really the only way you can deal it, but I don't know. I feel like there's probably a better means of doing it where you have rotating rather than just that fixed. Yeah, I think the other part is just the crafting in general. The times taken remind me of First Ascendant. First Ascendant is kind of the first game I played like this, like Warframe, when it initially came out. I would say First Ascendant is way worse than this, or at least it was when I played it initially. But this game is also extremely frustrating. It's clear that the times and the way blueprints work are meant to push you to spend plat. Again, I know it is free to play. They need to make money somehow, but I don't know. I just feel like it's rough. It's like, oh, I just spent 20 hours. I cracked 100 relics. I did this mission 300 times to get this one drop, and now I finally got it. Oh, I gotta wait 3 days to get it. It's like why? Like 24 hours, I think is fair for everything. Even that's a long time because it's like I really want to use it. But when it's like 72 hours, and that's after you actually craft the pieces, so usually the pieces are probably going to take you a day. Um, yeah, it's extremely frustrating. So I feel like the game does a lot of things good, but then there are a lot of frustrating things. And I think for a lot of people, depending on the way that you come into the game, will ultimately determine whether you like it or not. I think for a lot of solo people, just it's a hard avoid unless you're really into the genre, like the Destinies, or if you're into like the Path of Exiles, the Diablos, like those type of games, you're willing to grind and you have no problem. But for others who aren't really into those genres, don't really want to spend 1,000 hours just to get that one piece, then yeah, it's a hard avoid. So good overall. I hope to come back several months from now, maybe a year. I am going to try to grind all the basic Warframes, do all the boss stuff, try to get it as much as I can, and then I've been able to trade basic things for plat, so that's helped getting some pieces and parts. But I think at that point, then if I was to come back, I'd do it as Steel Path, and then I'd just kind of see what the experience there is, and that's a whole nother story. So I haven't even touched, the bulk of the game. I have 200 hours. Realistically, I didn't actually play 200 hours. It's probably closer to 130 to 150. Just given all the downtown menus and just crafting and all that stuff. But yeah, you're definitely going to need like several hundred hours just to kind of go through all the things the game has to offer. So honest thoughts and opinion, we'll revisit it one day. I'll say thanks to everyone that stopped by.